Hello viewers, welcome to Majesty Christian Television Network. It's a pleasure having you. My name is Apostle Helen Dokenu, the hostess of this program as at this moment. So, we thank you for having us in your homes and in your devices. I appreciate every time you tune into us. So our connection with you is high, and you must know that we are praying for you too. So thanks once again, and today we have a very powerful discussion. Our panelists are already waiting. We're going to talk about promoting community participation and self-reliance among residents of Amsterdam. It can also be in where you are, but we are making a case study, Amsterdam, because that's where we are based. So as an introduction, the local government is constantly seeking how to empower its residents to be involved in decision making, which does affect them directly and indirectly. Also, they are trying to help develop a more self-reliant attitude in each and every one of us living in Amsterdam Southeast. So statistically, it has been found that in Bijlmer Centrum, the 22% of residents are disconnected and uninvolved in society, compared with the Amsterdam average of 8%. So this is considered to be quite high. Some of the reasons given were that people are poor, others are in ill health, they have long-term unemployment, and also the Dutch language deficiency. So the goal of the authorities is to reduce this ratio by helping people to become empowered, more and more to be involved in issues and activities affecting us all. What a government! Is that not very good?
Yes.
It's still good that government, municipality can get its citizens involved in everything that they do. I wish African government, African municipalities and our government can get our people involved this way. So in this program, we will be exploring some of the ways more community participation and self-reliance may be developed among us who live in this community, among the migrant community. So we want you to join us right now, watch us live, and contribute your own reasons as well, if you have. So go on YouTube or watch us, send messages through WhatsApp or our Facebook. You can follow us live on Majesty TV. So, or you can call us on our studio line if you have something to say, which is +3120 3374 160. So our guests in this beautiful program are people you already know, and I'm so proud of them because whenever we call them to come and deliberate on issues, they will just come. Just like when you are watching CNN, there are these political analysts, These ones have become social analysts. They are social gurus because they are well involved, and some of them are community leaders. So I invite you to join me to welcome our guest today. Honey, welcome.
Thank you.
That's Ms. Susan Aka, who is also an NGO entrepreneur and a politician. So, and she's a businesswoman. She's a politician. Your party didn't win last time.
Next time we are going to. We are coming with hardcore this time. So wait for us.
You did not campaign very well for your people.
We are coming. We are coming. We already have the package already prepared. We don't want to expose it now.
So you have to tell the migrants what you are going to do. Then we will be able to, push buttons and get you there.
Yes.
But it's a very good attempt.
It's coming.
We have our nurse here, Ms. Faustina Ikedi, who is a nurse and an entrepreneur too. Honey, welcome.
Thank you.
Are you happy to be here?
Yes, I am.
So I'm so much in love with the clothes you are wearing. And we have Elder Uyi, who happened to be the Vice President of Nigerian Nationals in the Netherlands, and also you have, he's an entrepreneur as well. So Elder, and also a community leader, by the way. Welcome to Majesty TV.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me once again.
Yes, we are always happy when you are here with us. Because that title, Elder, is not a small one. So we believe that you have something to deliver here. Yeah, don't you?
Well, of course, of course.
So that's it for now. And once again, please, those of you who are watching us live on live through our Facebook, remember you can make your comments and you can send them across, or we can read them to you as well. Read them, and then you can answer the questions by yourself. So, welcome to this evening broadcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, to what extent can we, as residents, relate to the subject matter of this program? The subject matter is promoting community participation and self-reliance among the migrant community in Amsterdam. So, this subject matter, to what extent can you relate to it?
Personally.
Yes.
Okay. Regarding this subject, my connection is I go out a lot into the community, into the government places, to the social gatherings and meetings and conferences. And those conferences that I go, most of them are for Ghanaian conferences or meetings or workshops, and some of them also are for the Dutch government and also the Dutch business conferences and other things.
Okay.
So therefore, I see myself really participating in this community. Although I'm doing it for myself, but it's also having impact on others.
Oh, okay. So you are saying that you participate effectively?
Yes.
That's what you are saying?
Yes.
Are you self-reliant?
Oh, yes.
Okay. That's good. Let me go to Ms. Faustina. Can you say something, honey?
Yes. What I have to say, you can participate. There are many ways you can participate in this community. In empowering yourself to become one of them or to associate one of them.
Yeah, but we want to know about you.
Okay,
so,
but for myself,
yes.
What I do, for example, I have an organization that I work with.
Okay.
And we do have an event once in a year.
Okay.
And that event takes us around to see things in the communities.
Wow, that's good.
And not just only within Amsterdam, I would just say within Holland here, that we went out and said things. And the more, because the more you say things, the more you educate yourself. So, and another thing also do in my working place is also a place that I use to empower myself, because then I am mingling with the indigenous people here, and then we are interacting.
Yeah.
So that's the two ways I am.
Yes, you are
for
involved.
myself. I'm
yes,
involved.
you are
for
into
myself.
participation.
I'm into participation.
Okay, that's very good. That's very good. Oh, let's hear from Elder Uye.
Yes, you see, as it concerns this subject matter of today's program, it is a very important topic.
Yeah.
And because this is an issue that revolves around us.
Yeah.
Particularly us who are migrants, who
Yes.
are immigrants in the Netherlands. And as a community leader, as a leader of the Nigerian community here, I've been in a position to understand and to see in its real sense the challenges facing our people, facing immigrants, particularly in the Nigerian community.
Okay.
I know that many of Nigerians in Amsterdam are not self-reliant.
Okay.
Both men and women, and there are obvious factors for that, you know, that we have been able to see, because we relate with our people from time to time, both privately and on the social scenarios, and also during our activities as community leaders. So we know that many Nigerians here in the Netherlands, and particularly or specifically in Amsterdam
Yeah.
are not self-reliant, and it's a very big problem, and because it's a big problem because it affects us at large as a community of Nigerians in Amsterdam. It affects us. It affects families. It affects marriages. It affects relationships. You know, and so I think that it is an issue that we really need to look into, get ourselves involved to find a way out of this situation with a view to helping our people become more self-reliant and more productive.
Okay, okay. Yeah. But you, yourself, are you involved in the community? Yeah, you are involved because you are a Nigerian community leader, is that?
Yes, I'm involved.
Okay.
Well,
but then how involved are you to the community, to the indigenous?
Yes, you mean indigenous? You mean among Nigerians?
No, not among Nigerians, among the Dutch itself.
Well,
in the society because sometimes you see that people are like Nigerians, we just cluster among ourselves, so we are not participating. Yes. We are only among ourselves, but the municipality is looking for a way to break those so that people can mix up, because it's when you mix up with the society you are in, not with your own people alone. When you mix up with the culture of the people, then you will be able to learn, and then that is when integration comes in. When a people are only mixing only to themselves, they end up learning nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we try to mix up, and being community leaders here, we also have that opportunity. It's obvious that we have more opportunities to mix up with other immigrants, you know, in this society here, and see, you know, how much we can be useful. We can be more useful to them with a view to giving. You see, integration. When you're talking about a self-reliance has to do with productivity.
Of course,
all right.
That's what we mean, yeah.
Okay, and productivity is a wide thing. It's a wide thing.
Yeah.
When you talk about productivity in socially, economically, or self-reliance financially, you see, self-reliance revolves around so many things, you know, as it concerns us. However, if we want to be more specific here, I think the most important self-reliance I think our people need here in Amsterdam is economic self-reliance.
Of course, that's what I think. When we talk about that,
yes,
I understand self-reliance more on that aspect. To be economically independent.
Yes.
You know, that means you can do something for yourself, provide something, and then sustain yourself without depending on anyone. Okay?
Yes.
So that means you are now doing something that is yielding profit and yielding money to the point that you don't depend on the government.
Yes.
And that's where every society will want to be. Because when you have so many people who are depending just on the government, give me this, give me this, give me this, then there will be no innovation. You see? The guy who developed Facebook, look, the amount of millions they are making now because he invented it. So the society will want to promote or to challenge many of her citizens to come to that level where you will become you can participate and become self-reliant, and it is good for every society.
Yeah. Can I say? I think
yes, you can add something. Yeah.
Yeah. What he was trying to say, and what we are talking about is how to be to be imparted with the community we are in. Not about being Nigerian, and then group yourself. Because when you group yourself, you will still remain in that in that Nigerian community culture.
Yeah.
But you are not in Nigeria.
You're not participating.
You are now in Europe.
Yeah.
How then do you become a participant in things going on in where you are?
Exactly.
Because
that's it.
when you bring in Nigerian things, you're not in Nigeria. This is not our country. We have to be honest.
Yeah.
It's good that we meet ourselves to interrupt. It's very beautiful, and it gives good feeling, because then you can be able to meet. You feel homely because you are not home. But how do you make an impact in the society you are in?
Exactly.
And that's what he's saying. And personally, he's asking, for yourself. How do you make an impact before we start
Looking at
addressing
others.
to the community, to the viewers?
For example, I decided to go into politics.
Exactly.
So that the community, my community, will know that, oh, she's there, so then I can also be there.
Like I decided to go into media, you know?
You see?
Yeah,
so then
I've been a reverend
the
minister.
Ghanaian will know that, oh, if my sister is there, I can also be there.
Exactly.
So this is the impact. Because maybe through me, other ones will also look at me and say, hey, I saw this lady, she looks like a Ghanaian. If she has done it, I can also do it. So then why don't I go there?
Exactly.
So this is some of the impartation of how we want to get our people in.
And for me, I decided because I involve myself into organization, and the organization, what we do, we bring in people from Africa to expose them to what is going on here. And then we are making, and I'm communicating with the real Dutch people with what they are doing, and they are telling us, and we become like an mediator between them and the Nigerian people, and they are learning because we've done it now for 4 years now, and they are coming. It's like every year this year was mind-blowing, and now we are doing it, and next year, and even the so-called indigenous Dutch people, they are willing to go down to Nigeria in order to educate them. So, and at the same time, I'm not doing it Nigeria. It is Nigeria and the indigenous people here. And at the same time, I work, and where I work, I have the indigenous people, and I interact with them. And I talk with them, because if we don't get to know, we don't know when the laws are being changed. We don't know when things are being plus or minus in the law. And then we are the one lying behind. The things that we're supposed to benefit in the country, we don't benefit it if we don't associate with them.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, you see, self-reliance, like I said, is a wide issue. And it could be attained, either through private efforts, like individuals, making efforts individually to be part of society, to be part of the community we find ourselves here, or you can also become self-reliant by being productive, like I said at the beginning. You see, if you cannot become an entrepreneur, for example, and become self-reliant both economically and financially, you can get a job and still be self-reliant on your job. You work and you get a pay. And with that pay you earn from your productive occupational activity, you'll be self-reliant.
Exactly. That's what I expect you to speak, because you are still talking about people, but I'm asking, how are you involved in the society?
So how I am involved? Personally, for over the years, I have been working. Or in fact, since I have been in the Netherlands.
Exactly. That's what I want to hear.
In fact, it was the same month. I became legalized in this country and started working.
Exactly.
And I have been working till this moment.
You're a hard-working man.
I have never stopped working. I've always been working. I have worked I've worked during the day. I have worked in the night. I have worked in the tourism industry here. I have worked in other sectors. And so I do not wait for the government to feed me. I do not wait for my wife would not wait for the government to feed her. You see, and then we work and we earn enough to keep us comfortable and living well. And so we are very self-reliant. We don't rely on the government.
That's it. So by what you are doing, having worked so far, then you are participating. You are participatory in the community. You are adding to the community. You are building.
We pay tax to the government, to the society, to the Dutch economy, and we are helping the Dutch government. A little from me, a little from my wife. Sometimes my daughter goes over the weekend to work, also in the tourism sector.
That's beautiful.
And then
the children were made here, so they know.
And so they are also contributing their quota to the Dutch economy.
This is
and they are paying their taxes. And so we are very self-reliant in that aspect, not as entrepreneurs, but as people
People
who
who are
work.
working, yes.
You know,
Your family who
Yeah, as people who
work.
occupy ourselves with occupational activities,
Exactly.
and we earn enough living to be self-reliant.
Wow.
And so, and as a community leader, I have had the privilege to talk to Nigerians
Okay.
and to meet.
This issue is about Nigerians. That's
You
good.
know, to talk to Nigerians because I'm a leader in the Nigerian community.
Yeah.
And to introduce to them
Yeah.
certain areas where they can. You see, when one is jobless,
Yeah.
you will not be self-reliant.
No.
When you don't know where to get a job, you will not become self-reliant.
Yes.
And when you do not understand the language, you know,
Yes.
if you don't understand the Dutch language,
Yeah.
there is a level of job you can apply for.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in these areas, what I have been privileged to do is giving a kind of orientation to some sectors of the segment of the Nigerian community, the Nigerians,
Okay.
and tell them, look, you cannot remain jobless for such a long time.
Yes.
And you rely on government to give you money. Look, the government would have some money to give to you because others are working.
Yeah.
Okay? And they get from what they do and they give to you. So what you are going to do, I have taken some Nigerians to certain job bureaus that I know. Okay? And a job bureau that I have worked for a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I have taken some Nigerians there, and I take them to the directors of the job agencies.
Yeah.
And I tell them, look, these are my people. These are Nigerians,
Yes.
and they want to work.
That's
Okay,
good, yes.
please, what is available for them? What can they do for you?
Yes.
You know, I know you have this type of job, you have this type of job, and you have this type of job. Please, these are my people, and they want to work. All right?
Yeah.
So please, what offer do you have for them? You know, and so like that, I have been privileged to introduce Nigerians to certain jobs, and they have been employed. You know,
Yeah, that's
and from there, some of them work for some time, maybe a year or two. They change the jobs,
Okay.
or some continue doing the same job. Okay.
Okay. Now,
yes.
yes. Now we've had enough. So that means you are really, really participating, and then contributing towards the economy of the country we are in.
Yes.
Which is very good. And as a leader too, you are trying to impact that same diligence to those you are ruling
Yes.
as a community leader. Right, that's very, very good. Okay, so can I say clearly and boldly that we all here are well participating into the social issues and activities of our neighborhood?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
As much
Yes.
as we should.
Yes.
Yeah, to the best of our ability, we are doing our best.
Yeah.
That's very good. So are we also aware of an organization called Maidun Work, established to assist people increase their chances to entering job market? Are we aware of that, Maidun? Are we also aware of another section called Section Present, where we can volunteer a little of our time to assist others with a little call like cleaning, or doing their groceries? You see, because most of the time we only work only for ourselves. But I've seen that in this culture, they believe in voluntary work.
Yeah.
So you see them even when they are retired, they are still going and doing voluntary work.
Yeah.
But nobody taught us about voluntary work. So now we are in this culture, we have to learn, because it's a very good aspect of their culture, which I like. Like when the refugees were here, I went to fly bus. They built next to the city council. I saw that pastors were not there. Pastors were not there. And they were bringing all of these refugees and dumping them there. So I felt these are people who are traumatized. My work as a woman of God would be now to, go and give them my shoulder to lean on. Yeah. Some of these kids, some kids saw their mothers and fathers being drowned,
being shot
in their own eyes.
Life, yes.
And some of these
also
kids,
being raped.
some of these kids trekked a long way to the point that their toes were chopped off on the desert.
Yeah.
So
Terrible.
I felt, I went there the first time with my husband. I looked and said, pastors are not here. I think I have to come and give my shoulders. Some of the women, they are widows,
Yeah.
young widows, because their husbands were killed in their presence. So they are bleeding,
Inside.
So I gave my 8 months, 8 solid months. I was doing voluntary work. I went there. I would go in the morning. I would go to the side where they are sharing clothes. So I will sort out some of the clothes alongside to go and share with them. To share male and female. So I will move in the afternoon to the side where they are doing the food. And you see me standing and then dishing out. Then in the evening, I will go to the side where in the afternoon where we can take them to the clubs, to sports clubs, to go and because recreate themselves.
Yeah.
So they just need some people to volunteer to take them alongside with the professionals to go. And then sometimes the women want to cry, and then they will tell me, you, priest. I say yes, because that's the only way I was communicating with them. They say me,
Priest.
They can't speak the language. So some want to learn a little bit of English. So when I do that, they know. So I volunteered. I did that for 8 solid months.
It also have impact on the community.
Yes.
I
was glad that I could do that.
Yes.
I could give my shoulder to somebody, and some of the kids, some of the little kids, 4, 5, they're expecting their mothers. And their uncles who have brought them will say their mothers are dead. Do you understand? So voluntary work is very, very important. Our people have to go to this other level of doing voluntary work. You work for yourself, get your money, but make a day available to do something to contribute to the society where you are in. Can we, if you have something to say, please?
When you talk about our community, first of all, we also, most of us came in, as you are saying, those people as refugees. Some of us didn't come in as refugees. We came in through other ways, marriage and other things. But when you come to our side, already we have a language barrier, which is killing us a lot. And we also have financial issues. We have to work to pay our bills. Some of us are working 10 hours, Monday to Friday. Sometimes you have a shift job, you have kids. You have to make sure your kids are okay, they go to school, somebody has to pick them up, or your husband or yourself. So at the end of the day, we are so much packed. We are so much packed that it becomes for us difficult to go out. And I know some families that the only time they go out is church. That's the Sunday. Even if the husband or the wife is working in shift, that means they cannot go to that church. You see, so for us, the only, I don't know how we can break out, some of us. So that 22% you are talking is a very big numbers, but how to break it out is we came in, we have our educational background, diploma, certificates in our country. When you come here, bam, you have the language blocking you. You also have to pay your bills. You have to live, So then it's very difficult for us to.
Yes, exactly.
So the government is concerned, but how do we break this? We are happy the government is thinking about us and want to help us to break it out. But how do we do it? We cannot, because we have to work to pay out, to survive.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think, let me hear from you guys. That's a very good point you made, because people must work to survive.
If you don't work,
and the barrier, the language is another barrier.
Work of 5 for me.
I was in a conference about 2 weeks ago where a professor that had discovered something about brain. So he has discovered some few things about the development of brain, and he wanted to talk to the migrant community. So I was among the people who were opportune to see this professor who is carrying on his job on this brain development. So I found out that when you have reached 45, from 45 upwards, your brain begins to
slow
down. That one of the areas where your brain cannot really comprehend things has to do with language. Your ability to understand other people's language becomes
difficult.
very slow. Okay? And so if you look at the migrants who come here, many of them come after they have gotten their first degree, or they come when they already matured. So they now begin to struggle, to look for a way to meet up, to catch up. And then demands from their families, the demand to support.
Their families.
And sometimes we just come in here and they're already demanding, they're already expecting you to perform when you've not found your feet.
Yeah.
It's not the issue.
So
then here the pressure as well to know the language.
Yes.
So the brain is retarding. The brain is
Already
beginning to reduce. It's slowing down the ability to understand various other people's language. So for me, I think they have to reduce this standard. Okay, it's good to know the language. If there's a way to take away that barrier so that jobs can be made available, so that people who speak English, because I think 99% of the people in Netherlands can really speak English, isn't it?
yes.
Hello.
Yeah, but I think that because I'm a politician, I have to go to my. No, I'm not defending.
Oh.
I'm
it's
I'm
true.
not defending, but I'm saying what is there when you get in, what you see.
Yeah.
The government is doing its best. That when you come here, for you to, it gives. If I'm right, you have 2 years to learn the language. As you are saying, if you are 45, your brains start to retire. The government, you have to go to the Dutch language to school to learn the language. You are there, my sister. You just came from work. You wake up 5 o'clock. You brought your children to the nanny. You came from work. You started work around 6 o'clock. You came home 4 o'clock. 8 o'clock you have to go to another job. You close 10 o'clock. 4 days. 1 day in the week you have to go to school. You are sitting in the class. You are sleeping. You are already tired. You are exhausted. And this is the pressure. And so that when it comes like that, then you feel like you are being forced. You are being pressurized. But it's not so. The government is trying to help you. But this is a case. All our diplomas and our certificates is being devalued here.
Exactly.
It's being devalued. So, and you have to survive. So it's very, the government is.
That's also another aspect.
Yes. The government is doing whatever they can do, but they are not hitting the point. They are not listening to they are not listening to us. They have to listen. They have to know our problem before. It looks like they are deciding for us to go to school. It's good they want us to learn the language, but no, the way they are doing it is not helping us. They are sitting in the class. I know a woman. She has been to the school 5 years. She's my neighbor. She still cannot speak the language.
Yeah,
Yes, she is my neighbor. She cannot because she comes from. She has 2 jobs. So she comes from work. Then you see her running. Oh, I have to go to school. She's sitting there. She's sleeping. Or she's sitting there. She's speaking the Ghanaian language.
Yeah.
The whole class, about 60% are Ghanaian.
Yes.
The teacher is standing there.
Even they don't care.
And the teacher is because the teacher is standing there trying to teach Dutch, and then she says, "What's she saying? What's she talking about?" All that she's doing is yes. All that she's doing is looking at the tape. God, she's forced to come there. It has to be from free will. I'm here in this country. I want to learn the language.
Yeah.
It will benefit me.
Yeah, it's true.
That is when the government has to. The government is doing something to help us, or we are helping ourselves.
Yeah.
But if you force us to, okay, because you want me to go, I'm there. No problem. You want me to go 2 years, I'm there.
I will go and sleep.
I mean, I'm tired.
Yeah.
You see,
So the government is trying, but I don't think it's going through the right channel.
Let me hear from the other one. Yeah.
if I need to add to what our sister just said,
Yes.
you see, there is a lot of truth in what she has tried to analyze. Because I happen to be involved in, having the need to go to Dutch class.
Okay.
And because I wanted to find a way to get a better job if I could speak the language. I went to do a course in IT, and so that I would get a job in that sector.
Yeah.
And all that. I got the certificate from the UK and the rest of them. I went to class. At the end of the day,
Yes.
you still have you see, all in an effort to become more self-reliant.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
A personal effort I paid to get that course done.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you come to find yourself in a situation where you will not easily get a job right here inside the Netherlands.
It's true.
All right?
Yeah.
Because you don't speak the Dutch language.
The way it has to be.
The way you cannot even use the computer, you know, reading and writing and working with the Dutch language, you know, in the offices. And therefore, if you can't do that, they are not going to give you that job, because you are going to go to an interview where they will ask you certain specific questions, and you cannot explain those things grammatically in Dutch.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they disqualify you from that job.
Exactly.
But in the same job, you find people from China, Pakistan, India, coming from there. They bring them in group, okay, to come and do the job here. And these are people who are not even able to speak English.
But what are they speaking then? Wait.
No, they are able to communicate in English to some level
But what are
that
they
they can
speaking?
English. They speak English.
They don't speak Dutch. Okay, so
They
why are they bringing them to come and they do the same job?
Because they see them as professional immigrants. They see them. They bring them from Pakistan, India, and China, because these are professionals in the IT job.
They call them high skill.
They see them as skilled immigrants. But here inside Holland, people who are already legally resident inside here don't get those jobs as easily as those guys who get it online.
Those high-skilled immigrants, are they not people who have had their master's degree? Excuse me.
Look.
Because we have so many migrants who have their master's degree here. Still, they don't have.
Do you know how many of us? Do you know how
Can I come
many?
in?
Excuse me. Do you know how many of us who were educated already, exposed and educated, and traveled so many countries of the world even before we came to Europe?
Holland, yeah.
I left my job in Nigeria.
Yes, as a journalist.
As a journalist,
Yes.
as a chief government house correspondent.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And you dine and wine with ministers and presidents.
Yes.
And who is who in society.
That is in Nigeria.
In Nigeria,
But when you come here,
yeah,
you become nobody.
your certificates will
Yes.
not be valued because they were not done in Dutch. Okay? And they would expect you to go to the Dutch class and start from the scratch like a 3-year-old child, you know.
Let me
and
I
all
say
that.
something.
Yeah, so
Let
yes, let her say something. Yes. You don't need to ask permission, just say something.
What I want to say, because I understand where both of you are coming, because it's just like something that also we are facing in my working place. It's like they are bringing in people from outside the country to come and do some of the job that the people who are residents here can be able to do.
Yeah.
Then they bring in people. And I think one of the things I notice, because sometimes I interact with them, and what I notice is that labor is cheap for them.
Yes.
The labor cost is cheap.
Yes.
From those areas.
From
Those coming in.
Those coming in. The
Yes.
labor costs, they are very, very cheap.
Yeah.
Than when people are resident here, they pay more. And those ones coming in, and because I see it as a politics being played here.
Yeah.
And if you can call it corruption,
business.
you can also say corruption.
Okay.
If you can use the word corruption or politics. That's why I also
So tell us.
when they talk about corruption in Nigeria, I say it's everywhere. It's all over everywhere. Because it's a politics and corruption being played here. And the same companies that goes in and bring those workers, and they know the labor is cheaper for them, place the same gain around with the tax and get a lot of tax reduction.
Yeah.
And what happens to the resident people? How did you expect us to associate into the community when you have already given the job that
meant for us?
we the foreigners or the residents are willing to come and do here? You bring in people from Poland, from Czechia, from everywhere to come and do the job for peanuts. And we that were here, that residents,
They would prefer to return you
and
to
we
social.
are looking for job.
Oh,
And when we
is
go
it?
to social,
And they tell you to
we
go to
get,
social.
and you now tell us to
people-
go
the people
and do
really survive on
free
social.
flywheel
It's not easy.
Can I say
Huh?
something?
It's, you are really, you've made.
No. Can I say something?
Hey, you've really made something.
Yes.
My God.
Based on what?
Please, those of you who are watching us, if you have something to contribute, please give us a call on 020-3374-160 or go ahead and make your comment on our live on our Majesty TV Facebook. Then we will read it out and then tell us what you feel about this discussion, promoting community participation and self-reliance among residents of Amsterdam.
What you were saying, I want to analyze on what you were saying. Like you have your IT and other things. Me, when I came, I was also doing other jobs.
Yeah.
At a point of time, I noticed that in my country, I was doing something else than this.
Yeah.
So I'll follow the trend of my steps, what I was doing in my country. Do you know that here in Holland, about 70% of the companies are international companies? Okay. Me, I've always worked with international companies. I've never worked with Dutch companies. Trust me. And anytime I go, I'm looking for a job, I get it. It's not because I don't have the feeling that because I'm a Ghanaian or because I'm black. No, it's not there. Okay. You go in, you get it. But we the migrants, we have something. We always have something that because I'm black, because I'm this. No, the government wants us to come in, and they are ready to receive us. So that mentality that I went there with
which
Dutch
government are you talking about?
I'm talking about
because
the Dutch government.
You said you always go to international organizations and
yes.
international companies and they employ you.
Yes.
These international companies, they are not our government. They are international.
They are also in the country. They are also in the country. They are working here. They are paying their taxes here. But we the migrants here, the mistakes we are doing is we always have something in our mind. That is why the government wants us to come in. The government is finding a way to bring us in because we are always pushing ourselves to our corners, which is wrong. So what we do is we for example, looking for jobs, we go through the wrong channels.
Really?
Yes.
You're a politician. That's why you are here.
Most of us go through the wrong channel.
Wow.
Because when I started looking for jobs, before when I came, I was also doing other jobs. Okay. But at the point of time, I decided that, no, in my country, I was doing something else. So now, I also want to sit in that office like that lady sitting there.
Exactly.
So, yes. So, what did I do? I went to, there was a rice lady. I went the social rice lady. I went there and I seek for advice. She gave me this advice. And I said, okay, the best thing for me is to try and go to school.
Yeah.
I went to school. And then during that period of 9 months or something, they taught us how to look for a job.
Yes.
This is my personal experience. My first job, there was one lady who was working in a casa. She was also in the class.
Yeah.
We came to school one day in the evening and she said, I've got a job. And I'm like, you got a job? How? At that time, I had that knowledge because I'm black. I had that knowledge because I'm a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
So the teacher said, you see, one of you have got a job. So all of you should go and look for a job. I went to the job. The next day, I went to Accent Bureau with my very scruffy jacket. And I was just in the shopping center. I said, they said we have to look for jobs. So I went to the Accent Bureau. Can you imagine this lady? I was standing there. A lady came in with a nice suit and then they offered her coffee. Can you, my colleague is coming to pick you. They came to pick her and then she went and sat the place. She crossed her leg. I was just standing there and said, oh, you are looking for a job. Okay, give me your name. And then we call you when you have a job. I was like, So when I went to school on Thursday, I told my teacher, I was so pissed off, I was so bitter. I said, I went to look for a job. The lady didn't even register me.
Yeah.
So
because we're looking raw.
Yes. So the advice was, okay, this lesson we've given you a computer, we've given you a suitcase, something small that makes you look presentable. Next, tomorrow is Friday. Go to the same Accent Bureau, put on your nice suit, put on your dress dress professionally,
yes,
and go there, and you see the difference. My brother, I didn't go through a Ghanaian, I didn't go through my brother African or I went there, the same Accent Bureau. I went there that Friday around 10 o'clock. I was there because I couldn't understand why they didn't register me.
Yes.
I went there. I was addressed nicely, and then she said, "Oh, hello. How can we help you?" I said, "Oh, I'm here to look." They taught us how to present ourselves. Presenting ourselves in this environment of this, or in this country looking for a job, is different from our African way.
Yeah.
Sorry, but because African way we go through our brothers and uncles. Here it's not like that. You go and face them. I want the same lady who did not register me. It's the same lady who asked me to sit down. The colleague is coming. Can you imagine when I left the office those years? When I left the office, before I got home, they called me that job for me.
Wow, that's good.
This is my personal experience.
Yes.
So it depends on how you look for the job. And since then, I've been working in the office. Now I'm in the supply chain management. If I tell you my position, you won't believe it. I didn't go through anybody. So I'm using my experience to advise others.
That's very powerful.
So the way you look for a job is wrong. Can you, yes, oh, are they looking for somebody in your company? You still want me to go and talk to my manager? No. It doesn't work like that. So we have to come out from the shell.
People like you must make yourself available to give information on, to the black community on how they must look for a job.
Yes,
you give information to the migrant community on what you have to do to look for a job. You don't wait until you're invited to the television before you come and you're telling me this good experience.
I'm giving an example like my neighbor. Before I was not living in Amsterdam, I was living in Almere. When I came, I got a flat. I had a neighbor. Anytime, she's a very beautiful, eloquent lady. Anytime she's walking like her legs. So one day I asked her, "What's wrong with you? Are you working?" She said, "No." I said, "Why are you not working?" He said, "Yeah, my leg. I was working for a long time." I said, "Look here, my friend, stop all this you are doing.
Yeah.
Just go to the social people, tell them you want to go to school." Oh, no. So one day my colleague, who is a Dutch, said, "Oh, it's a long time, Susanna, you came. I don't know your home, so I'm coming to visit you." So this guy came to visit me. So I called my neighbor to come and join me. So the discussion, the conversation, she got to know. She was totally lost.
Yes.
And that was when she got to, oh, so is that you? Is that the position? Is that what you do at work? So I told her that go to the social people and tell them that you want to go to school, you want to do whatever you want to do. And then she said she wants to be in the Zork. I said, no problem. Can you believe, as I'm talking to you now, you can take a phone and call her. She did the IGE in the Zorg.
Yeah.
And now, sometimes I ask her, why is your pain in your? Then she'll be laughing. Sometimes
she's working.
She's working. She's so happy.
No more excuses.
Because I gave her my personal experience and I advised her and she took it. So it has not benefited her.
That's very
We
good.
have something in our mind that is keeping us away from coming out into the society.
Yes.
So we really need to do something about ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah,
What she just
thank
said
you so
now.
much. Thank you. Yes.
It's a really very good point that I had in mind
It's so
to also say,
beautiful.
because
Hey.
the more if you already resided in the country,
Yeah.
and you decided, for one reason or the other, you end up taking social, and you decided to relax taking the social.
Yeah.
At the same time, you are robbing yourself
Yes.
a benefit, because you are not
Contributing.
you are not helping yourself in any way. Because our body system, there's a way of God create this body system. If you are fond of doing this phone like this, and at a time you doesn't type, let's just say you leave it for 1 year, or 2 years, when you pick it, you cannot do like this anymore.
Yeah.
You go backwards.
Yes.
So all you need is just, you will now be thinking, but before you could do it, but because you dropped it, it will drop you.
Okay.
So the body cells, the cells of the body, they are not used to it, so they start going backwards.
And
they
then
start going
sicknesses
backwards,
begin to come.
and then before you know, you think you are relaxing, you think you're taking social. I'm enjoying the money. I don't need to go to work. I just have to just relax. You are killing yourself. You are not helping anybody. You are killing yourself because your body is going backwards.
Yeah.
Your body is going backward, and after, let's say you just relax for 10 years or 5 years, and you decided maybe social now get rid of you, are tired of you, they don't want to, and they start pushing, and when you start to work, you experience waist pain, hand pain, leg pain, all pains, because what? The body is not used to it, and you're gonna experience it for 2 years or 3 years before the body gets used to it again. And when it gets used to it again, you will be like, oh, and then before you know, you are robbing yourself. So it is good to benefit from the government, but at the same time, you are
impactful
cheating yourself. you are cheating yourself and not the government.
Right.
So,
So then our people are supposed to hear this. Our community must hear this, you know. They must hear, because in our communities you have people who are just seated there, they are doing nothing. You know, they're doing nothing and they don't want to know. So I think they must hear this. This is the truth you've just spoken.
They use the language as a barrier.
Yeah.
But the language
you are
should
saying
not be a
that,
barrier.
so you are saying that in those international
Yes, there are international companies.
They
Trust me.
speak English.
Yes, yes. Trust me, my brother. Trust me. With all your diploma, go on the internet, and then look for 20 international companies. Write application to them, and then at least 2 will call you. Even if you go for the interview, they don't take you. You hear a response. There are thousands of international companies there. I've worked with Japanese companies. I've worked with American companies. I've worked with a Korean company. They all speak English. The Dutch are very few. They tell you when you go, you have to speak Dutch. Yes. They tell you when you go, you have to speak Dutch. The interview, you see, the lady sitting there, she's speaking Dutch to you. When the moment you get into the office, the computer everything is in English. Trust me. There are some Dutch people who cannot even work in the international because their English is not good.
Yeah.
So we, as English speakers, we have the opportunity. What we have to stop is asking our neighbors, is your manager looking for a job? Is there a job in your company? All those things. It doesn't work. With all your diploma, like your IT level, and you are asking somebody to look for...
bringing the African mentality,
yes,
so the European
we have to come out from that shell and stop... There's some... Even in churches...
You have to present yourself.
Connection.
Even in church, some people can say, me, I don't want to go to Dutch church. I only go to African church. I like African church. For Christ's sake. What? How can you come out?
Yeah, exactly.
How can the government know that this person is there dying?
This is a politician talking. I think we better can listen to her. Yes.
No, I mean, how can the government... I'm not talking for the government, but one way or the other, I think the government is doing enough. Yeah. There are so many... When you go to the district council, you ask for... There are so many incentives there that we can get our hands off. You know? There are so many... So the government has made so many pockets available for us to take it. But... because we don't go.
Okay,
this
moves
the language
me to the next question.
Yes.
How can we better prepare? How can we better respond to opportunities around in order to participate more?
If you don't go
hear from the leader.
Well, you see, I listened carefully to what our sister was saying.
Yes.
But you see, whether we like it or not, immigrants have certain factors militating against them. Okay? It's easy to say... I cannot be talking for myself because I'm already I'm self-reliant.
Yeah.
But as a leader in the Nigerian community, I would want to kind of represent my segment of my people in a certain way.
Okay.
You see, for example, certain people are willing to get into. You see, to become self-reliant, you need to also find a way to become integrated.
Yeah, you're not talking about promoting the community participation. You're only speaking only on self-reliance.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
You see, self-reliance in a foreign environment must start with integration.
Yes.
You must be integrated. You must understand the mentality of
the people
of that environment.
Yes.
The language, the mentality, the culture.
It's true.
Okay.
Yes.
The culture. It's not about going online. Everybody can go online and get a job with any foreign company or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that is not actual integration.
Okay.
That is not actual self-reliance. Basis now. Okay. Therefore, that will not help a community to become self-reliant. A community will become self-reliant. Like if you look at countries like America, the UK, most of these big English-speaking countries, why foreigners do well, why a higher percentage of foreigners are doing better and are more self-reliant as a community of a people is because they understand the language and the culture of that environment. All right? But here it is different. For example,
what is holding us from understanding the culture, please?
Okay, now, for example, you want foreigners to study a language that is as complicated as the Dutch language. All right, it's possible. People are studying it, and they are getting to know the language.
Yeah.
But all the same, if you ask an individual who is willing to become self-reliant,
Yes.
for example, to study a language, to be able to get integrated with a view to becoming self-reliant in that society, and you ask him to pay, you ask him or her to pay to study that language, okay?
Yeah.
The willingness to study will be reduced.
Yeah.
Now, for example, when I was written a letter to say you must go to study Dutch language,
Yeah.
I said, "Good, oh wow." By the time I opened it, I don't read Dutch, okay? And I called my son and said, "Hello, come on, boy, read this thing for me."
Yeah.
What are they talking about? He said, "Oh, it's duo, it's the duo." I said, "What is duo?" He said, "These people who organize education for Dutch language," and
Yeah.
I said, "They are called duo." He said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, okay. What are they talking about?" He said, "Yeah, they said, Dad, look, you must go to school, eh? you must go to Dutch class." I said, "Oh, it's good, eh?" I said, "That's beautiful. I would really like to be able to speak the Dutch language and write the Dutch language, and then things will be easier for me."
Yeah.
Then I move higher, and
Your son will be excited.
then I move higher and higher.
Yeah.
My wife was just looking at me.
You know,
And then after I finished talking with my son, I was so excited. And then my son was relaxed, and
Yeah.
then he waited.
Yeah.
To an extent, he now said, "Okay, Daddy, can I finish reading it and explaining to you?"
Yeah.
I said, yeah. Go ahead. He now said, "But you have to pay."
the moment the payment came, you forgot about your interest was gone. You know,
I said, what pay for what? He said, "You have to pay to study the language." I said, "You mean it? Then how much am I supposed to pay?"
Yes.
He said, "Well, I don't know. Tomorrow I will call them with you, and then I will speak Dutch. I will speak Dutch with them, and then they will tell you what you need to do." When I called them, what they told me discouraged me.
Oh.
you see,
And then at the end of the day, I struggled. I said, "I'm willing to learn this language, but must I pay?" They said, "Yes, because your wife works. Your wife is working,
Yeah.
and you are working. Therefore, the government cannot assist you
To let the language.
I said, "Look, I have bills. My children are grown up. I have too much to pay already.
that's it.
My neck is being shocked because of bills and expenses and all that."
Yeah.
I said, "Don't forget, I'm an African. I have a father who's old, a mother who's old, and brothers who need assistance, and I still help them. I don't want him to die. So I still send money for my father's medications and all that. It's not easy for me." Okay? They said, "Okay, if you cannot pay, we will give you a loan." A loan. I said, "But no loan is free.
You still pay after.
If you give me a loan, I will still need to pay." They said, "Okay, well, that's the best we can do for you." Duo now said, "Okay, we will give you a loan, 10 or 12,000 euros.
To pay for the school.
to pay to study the language." I was forced to accept.
Oh.
Yes.
And
When I'm in class and the teacher is reading, and then before you know it, they will bring one voucher. Factura. They'll say,
can I say something?
No, let him finish.
they will say,
Let him finish because they're listening to us, isn't it?
I know,
They
but
will see.
Yeah.
sometimes we need to make some small corrections and bring our mind.
Let him finish.
yeah,
Let him
yeah.
finish. Let
but
him
I'm
finish.
telling the truth.
Yeah.
You are
Exactly.
telling the truth.
Yeah,
It's the
say what
fact.
you
But that's
say.
what
And
happened.
they
And they
ask
need
you,
to hear it.
they ask
You
you
want
to,
people to go to school, you want them to pay.
It's
They bring
true,
a
but-
voucher.
every 3 months, they bring this factura paper, and they said, "Hey, Uyi,
Yeah.
can you sign here?" I said, "What is it?" You
The
see,
money-
1,000 so amount of money. I said, "What is it?" They say, "Because this thing
Yeah.
is the money you have agreed to pay. The duo gave to you as loan, saying that you have accepted it."
Yes.
I signed. Because If you don't sign, you go out of the class. They will not allow you to continue.
Yeah.
So we get indebted
Because of the language.
because we want to study the language.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we still accept because we are willing.
Yeah.
We want to improve. We want to be able to integrate very well. We want to be able to speak the language. We want to be able to work with the language.
Yes.
We want to be able to contribute more to the Dutch economy.
Yes.
Because this is where we live.
Yeah.
Okay? And all these are all geared towards making ourselves more self-reliant without relying on the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
I go to work at night. Apostle, you are aware.
Yeah.
I will go to work at night and I will work 8 hours or 9 hours, and I will come back in the morning around 8 o'clock.
Yes.
By 9 o'clock, I must be in class.
Can you imagine
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Okay.
How can he
So
cope up?
I will not need to be taking coffee, espresso, to keep me awake.
Which is free.
It's true.
Which is free there.
It's not even
It's not free.
50 cents.
It's 50 cents.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to
Okay.
pay.
So all these are efforts we make to become more useful
This is very powerful.
in
this
our
point.
society.
Yes.
But not everybody has that grit,
Exactly.
that
zeal.
determination
Yeah.
to say, let me indept myself,
Yeah,
put
invest
debt on
12,000
myself
plus.
to study Dutch language,
Yes.
to become more useful in this society. Instead, they stay at home and earn social, and then they become deteriorated even
Yes.
mentally,
Yeah.
or along the line, if social is not enough to keep them, particularly as immigrants, they get involved in other things that are not lawful.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is my experience.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Can I say something to bring go back to the subject? The subject is saying, or the government is saying that we are not in the community, and now you being a community leader, even you yourself, you have the barrier. How can you bring other people in? Now you are saying the Dutch language is blocking you not to go forward. So being a community leader, how do you bring people in?
No.
And that is, you cannot even yourself.
I didn't say that. I didn't say the Dutch language is blocking me.
No, what you are saying is you already have a problem there.
I said earlier. Listen, I said earlier that on this instance, I'm not specifically talking for myself.
No.
Okay.
I'm only using my own experience to generalize what most immigrants may have been going through.
You also you experienced this.
Yes.
And when during the time you experienced it, it was a big problem for you. So what I am saying is the Dutch language or going to that school should not be a barrier.
Okay.
You have to, yes, that is what I'm saying.
And what must be done?
And what must be done is
listen.
I came in as you came in, and I know I've gone through it.
Look,
and I'm not saying I'm different from other guys.
Just give her one
Let me
minute
explain.
to
Let me
Okay.
explain.
What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is the Dutch language should not be a barrier for us to come out of the shell. That is one.
but it is.
It should not, because you are English-speaking country. I am telling you, about 70% of the companies in this country, they are English companies. And I can prove it to you because I have been there and I'm still there. That's what I'm trying to say. We have something in our mind that, oh, this Dutch language, these Dutch people. No. So what I'm trying, you have to pick from me and say, she's saying this and I'll go and try it.
Exactly.
Okay.
You don't have to think it's not possible. It is possible.
We are not saying. For example, we are not saying it is not possible.
It is.
But you are.
But that it worked for you.
It will work for everybody.
You see,
it will work when if you, because somebody gave me this knowledge and I applied it and it worked for me.
Exactly.
Nobody is in doubt about that. Nobody is in doubt
good.
about that. But what I know,
wow, very effective.
What I know is that there are certain barriers the municipality you mentioned is trying to help break that barrier, would need to waive certain barriers.
Yeah, local citizens must become more visible. Okay,
right?
They want us to be more
because
visible.
if you don't waive certain barriers, if
there are some issues
who is going to work,
we have to say it.
Okay, if who works and my wife works, will need to pay to study Dutch language, for example, and I had a friend who hates working.
Yes.
He doesn't. He has never worked in this country,
and he will get it free.
He's getting it free.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, because he doesn't do anything, he's so unproductive.
and classify him, but he needs help. This person needs help.
Okay. He's so unproductive, and you call him in the morning by around 11 o'clock in the morning and is answering you with a sleeping voice that is still sleeping.
No, you know what? Okay? What he's trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is that the government
should support everyone.
Is doing enough, trying to help create the enabling environment for people to become self-reliant.
Yes.
But let me assure you that is the, you see, government is politics. All right? And I know that the government can do a little bit more. That is not doing more, but doing it in another way.
Okay. We come to here.
Okay, can I say something?
Yes, please.
Because what was the topic? We shouldn't deviate from the
topic.
Yeah. The topic is how do we get involved in the community? We're talking about section of work and how to look for work. The government, I would say, looking back to where we're coming from, I would say the government, they tried, but they could help more. That is real true with some testimonies we are hearing, and like what he just says, it makes some people slash back in order to be productive to themselves. Okay, but I think when I came into this country, there were some organization I remember that if I remember, I don't really know their name because some of them does not exist now. That really help immigrants that are not even documented, illegal immigrants. And I still believe that such a thing still exists, that they help the illegal, both documented and undocumented immigrants to learn the language on that basic section, to learn the languages. And these organizations are existing. Of course, it does help, and sometimes we the immigrants, we are focusing on how to work and make the money. Here we need to make money to help our people at home. We need to pay bill, of course, where we are living. That is understandable. But with the immigrants, in order to associate in the community we are in, we have to now make a plan.
We have to come out.
Mm.
We have to plan and ask questions. Okay, I want to do this. How do I do it? And then because I could remember there was somebody having something, and I said, okay, I know that Mandy help people in this section that you are asking. Mandy, help people in this section you're asking. So you go there and tell them this thing. Maybe they can help you.
Okay. Because
there are so many organizations out there that we, the immigrants, we don't even know because we never ask.
Yes.
And we never come out to even speak. And because I say kudos to Ghanaians who are coming out more in the societies. But with the Nigerian, we need to do more because we have intellectual people, more educated people, that they can be very, very effective in the community that any other African country. But they slash back. They are not being productive because, and I like what you said, the language barrier. The language can be a barrier. But for me, I don't even speak that perfect Dutch. But the little one I do, I just use it and to scatter the place I want to go, and that's it. So I'm not perfect in it, but still, the most important thing that do they understand what I mean? If they don't understand me, but what
he's also saying, to cut it short, is that your certificate is also being devalued, except you are ready to maybe take up any course
from any course.
That's what you mean, isn't it?
Yes.
You take up any course and then start something different.
For example,
most of the time, the Africans, permit me to say, most of the time, the Africans just stick to one thing, But the Dutch people and the white people, I have seen that sometimes, even though they have read to be so, you're an IT, or you did MBA, for instance, okay? When you search for a job for a long time, or you're not able to get what you want, they switch over. They quickly go and do a little course and switch over to another area. I've seen people who started as IT, they ended up becoming cooks.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
They ended up becoming international cooks. Do you understand?
Because the language has forced them to another section.
No, it's not just the language.
The language is involved.
The language is involved.
So I am talking about Dutch people themselves.
Okay, Dutch people
themselves. Yes, I'm talking about that. But we are coming from an environment where if you study to be let's assume you are an artist. You just want to remain an artist. If you are a nurse, you just want to be a nurse, no matter what. Even when there is no job, you just want to be a nurse. If you are a journalist, you just want to be a journalist. That's the way our mentality in Africa works. But here, I'm saying that even sometimes you see a medical doctor who will say he's tired of practicing.
And then he's going to do
he
something
switches
else.
over to something else
that's
that
true.
has no relationship with medicine.
But many of us have switched. I'm not working here as a journalist.
Yes,
Okay.
I know.
But whether anybody, you see, even when I become, if I get to 100 years old, I'm still a journalist because that is what I studied. That is what is in my blood. Okay.
Yes.
Now, but I'm not working here as a journalist. I'm working in the tourism sector, doing something else.
Yeah.
All right. Now, for example, I regularly visit Germany, and I have certain people in Germany that I know. Do you know what many Nigerians are going through in Germany right now that I know?
Okay.
They are going through courses being paid for by the government. I don't know if that exists here.
Okay, tell us.
I stand to be corrected.
Courses.
If I'm, and they are being sponsored by the government to learn driving, for example, to learn how to drive the big buses.
Yeah.
Okay? And you go to these agents and they give you a paper and they say, go to social agent who train people to drive buses, to drive tram, to drive this. Okay? And then the government pays for these things. For you to be trained to become a bus driver, a professional driver, and all that. You see, this helps a lot to bring people out of unproductivity, to make people become more self-reliant. Okay, and when the community leader, for example, in our position, comes out to say, maybe in a meeting, and say, my people, this is what is possible for us as a community, to benefit from, to become more self-reliant, to be more involved and all that.
Yes. And they're not going to pay anything.
And you do not pay anything. I can assure you that many of them will come out.
It's true.
No language barrier.
Yes.
There's something like, you must study Dutch first before you can be sponsored by the government.
That's a very good point.
Okay? And then we cannot come out here now and say, I want to now become a professional driver of the tram or this. For example, I have certificate, a professional certificate to drive a taxi, city taxi.
Okay, that's good one.
Okay, I have it.
Yeah.
European certificates to drive taxi.
Yeah.
Do you know, when I used to live in Italy?
Yeah.
When I brought it here, they told me no.
Oh.
It is not acceptable.
This Dutch people, eh?
It's not acceptable.
The system is too hard.
Because it was not done in Dutch.
Yeah.
You need to go back to the Dutch school to go and study. I said, look at this is a European professional certificate.
They don't accept it.
I can drive a taxi from here to Afghanistan if you want.
Yeah.
They told me, no, you can drive. But you must go and do it again in Dutch.
Yeah, but that's also another
another barrier.
And then
they are posing on people.
And then they will not sponsor me now to go to that taxi school here.
You will do it by yourself.
I need to pay, and it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So, you see, all these are areas where we will appeal to the municipality to look into, to help people be more integrated.
Yes.
Okay?
That's good.
All right?
Yes.
If I know that if I study Dutch, I will be able to use it to do something reasonable, to improve my life and improve my contribution to society, I will want to do it. If the government encourages me, but don't ask me to pay.
To pay when they know if you cannot or can.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, if I cannot pay, you give me a loan, you would handcuff me later to pay you back.
Yes, it's true, definitely. You
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So all these are areas we want to appeal to the government, the municipality of Amsterdam and the Dutch government to help us.
Yeah, give us something free.
Encourage us. Give us subsidies to study.
Yeah,
give us subsidies to learn. Yeah. Give us subsidies to study the language.
Preach.
They will be more useful to this society. We don't want to be any social. We don't want to earn money free from the government.
Speak.
Okay? We want to work. Our people want to work. Yes. Our people want to be productive.
Yes.
Our people want to be more integrated into the Dutch system.
Yes.
Okay? And the Dutch culture. But help us to be able to do it. We don't have the money to pay.
Yeah.
pay for us, and we
Yes.
will do it.
Yeah.
Um,
And
Yes.
it has to be given whether you are documented or not documented, as long as you are living here. Do you understand? It has to be, yes.
can I?
Because when it's not given that way, they only give it to only those who are documented here, then it becomes also another barrier.
There's another
There's another
So,
barrier.
but as long as somebody can produce an address of where he or she is living, I think they must be able to say, okay, let's do it. You know, let's just give them something, equip them. Because when people are walking on the street, they're not documented, and at the same time, they have
a
no
lot of
means.
crimes.
They have no means of feeding themselves, and they have no means also of working. Then you are promoting crime indirectly.
Indirectly, yeah.
And the issue here is the
We're
government.
rounding up now, okay?
Okay,
Yes.
okay. My run-up is the government. You mentioned a website, or you mentioned a Stickton present. You mentioned other Stickton.
Yes.
That you know, the issue is the government is saying so and so percentage
Of the people.
of the people, migrants, are not unproductive, or I don't know the word they are using. My own advice is we have to come out, we have to go, and we have to seek for information. Every information is in the paper. We go to the district council, we go to this organization, the information are there. When you receive the letter from the DO, they ask you to pay. You spoke to DO. You said, oh, they said they asked me to sign. And then you sign. Did you take the letter to the district council where there is the basic
Yes, I did.
to go and tell them, hey, look here, this is what they want me to do. I cannot pay.
But I did.
There are always a place where to go and you have help.
Look,
Yeah,
I
but
did.
when
I
he's
went to
working
document it. I went
and
to
the wife
document
is
it.
working, they said on the basis of that, you are working.
it's not-
you are a family that is working.
That's
That,
Excuse
that,
me,
means,
my
that, means, that means it's not like you being immigrant. It's the law of the country.
The law of the country is that
If
when
a Dutch
husband
man
is working and,
And the wife is watching, you
so
don't get this.
You don't get any free.
And then, so that means you should not have the mind that the DO asked me to pay before I go to school because I'm a migrant. No, that is the law of the country. It's different from something that is blocking you as migrant. These are two different issues.
That's not correct.
It's correct.
You will
No, it's
require.
correct.
the
You will,
politician is really
you-
fighting.
Yes,
you
yes, we
will
are.
require me to study the Dutch language because I'm an immigrant. You will not require a Dutch person to go and study Dutch.
Yeah, it's true.
You will not require Suriname to go and study.
Yeah.
They already speak the language.
Yeah.
It's like they were born with it.
Yes.
Okay. You will not expect the Curaçao, the Suriname, and these other
You're right.
people
Yes.
to go to. Have you ever seen one in the Dutch class?
Will
No,
it
they are not
benefit you?
there.
Learning the language, will it benefit you? What
Of
is the
course,
benefit?
It will
Okay.
benefit. Oh yeah.
So
the-
why-
We are the people. You see, it's not the law of the country. It's a rule for immigrants. Okay.
Yes.
It's not. Otherwise, you would have asked everybody. Even people
Even
that
you
are
have to study the
even-
language to become
There are ladies-
nationalized. as
there
well.
are ladies
So if
who
you
are
don't
married.
study it, you
When
will
you have
not.
a Dutch passport and then
Listen,
they meet you and they say,
there are
hello,
ladies.
Mefrau, and then they say, I
Read
speak
the
English.
Dutch news. I have a website. They send me Dutch news.
Then what's your Dutch? You have
Excuse
a
me.
Dutch passport and they meet you somewhere. Then you go to the Netherlands embassy or you meet a Dutch outside. Or you go and then they say, hello, Mefrau. Then you say, I don't speak Dutch. That's why if you want to have our nationality, you learn our language.
That's a
it.
different matter. That's a different thing. That's a different thing. We are talking about using the Dutch language to be self-reliant in this country.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very
Now,
important.
I went to the Kimente. They told me the same thing. They said if you are working and your wife is working, you have to pay. Okay. So what we are saying here is that this rule is for only immigrants. It's not for other
It's
people.
not for other people.
Other
Okay,
people
what
don't need it.
suggestions? Please just give me 1 minute, 1 second, each one of us. Please, the suggestions. What suggestions can we give? To increase our participation.
Yes.
What can we look into the camera and talk to the municipality that, okay, these are the things which if you do for us, it can increase our participation and self-reliance.
Well, like I just said earlier, if the Amsterdam, the Dutch government or the Amsterdam municipality can help sponsor immigrants, foreigners,
Yes.
or to do professional courses, like, professional courses that would directly lead them to a particular type of jobs, okay? That will be more useful. More people will become more self-reliant. More people will be more productive in society, all right? And then studying the Dutch language should be free of charge, all right? the municipality or the Dutch government should make studying Dutch language free of charge. Yes. You know, nobody should be made or forced to pay to study the Dutch language. Okay? I used to live in Italy, and we studied Italian language free of charge. Okay? We were not asked to pay. I have the certificates. And we were made to study this language free of charge. And so, I think if the Dutch government would also do that, if the Amsterdam municipality would also do that, for example, it will help more immigrants to become more useful, to become more productive, and to be more integrated into the Dutch society.
Exactly. Thank you. That's a very good one.
Okay.
Yes.
For me, they should create, like what he said, create accessory for both documented and undocumented people to be able to study that language free of charge, and then to be able to mingle with the community. And another thing, the government should stop encouraging the companies that are bringing foreigners, immigrants, to do the job that are meant for the already resident immigrants, yes, migrants in the country. Because how do you want, if you bring in them and they do the job and those ones don't have a job, and how do you expect them to integrate with the community? It's also very hard. So the government should look into that section and know what to do, and at the same time give access and to impact. It doesn't matter if your husband is working or your wife is working, but to impact everyone so that we can be also feel okay. Because if you look at it, we are immigrants and we are doing intermarriage, for example, and then our earning, if you look at it, is not that higher like the indigenous people.
No.
And are asking us on top of that to come and pay our school fees because we want to go more higher to be able to integrate with the community. It will be too hard because back home there, people are expecting us to help them. We have parents that we help. Even
our bills here are very high.
We have bills to pay.
The Dutch society is an expensive society. Yes. Everything is increased every month, every 3 months. Transport is increased. Light bills are increased.
It's true.
Everything is being increased. And salaries are not being increased. And so the whole Netherlands, a country, is a rich country.
Yeah.
It's a small country but very solid economically. Yes. Okay? It's a rich country. So I think the government can assist more in the area of manpower development, in the area of human development, professional human development, giving the enabling environment for immigrants to study, for immigrants to get jobs without necessarily forcing them to pay to study the language they need to be able to work.
Thank you so much. Let me hear. Thank you so much. Let me hear from Mrs. Thank you.
Rounding up, what I would say is there are some of us migrants that have devoted ourselves to help our people, send information to our people. So our responsibility to fish for the information ourselves. If we know, the information will get to our people. But if we don't know, if you don't have any knowledge about how the system works, how the politics works, how everything works, we cannot even go to our people and give them the positive vibes. So all that I'm saying is, as community leaders, we have to know much, and so that when people come to us, we know we can direct them to the right places.
Wow. Thank you so much. So you think the community leaders have to know more?
Yes, they have.
But then I think the government, the municipality, then must invest in them.
The government has made everything available for us, but we don't know where to find it. So the people who have made themselves as leaders, Ghanaian leaders, Nigerian leaders, Uganda leaders, they have the possibility to get closer to the government or get closer to the district council to fish for the information. Every information that they think their community needs, they go and find out or fish it out and then bring it to their people. Otherwise, their people will keep on being in that shell. They will never come out.
It's very, very true. Yeah. Thank you so much. We have people who are watching by internet. So somebody, Ngo Francisca, thank you for watching. Your contributions are that they should give papers to those who do not have, because many of these migrants are hardworking. Okay. So she is of the opinion that paper the people must be legalized.
Legalized.
So that,
it's also a barrier too.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
so that
it's a
people
barrier.
can, yeah, it's true. I think if
It
people have stayed
it
up to
limits
5
them,
years
yeah.
here, from time to time, it's like it's very hard to hear people from of this country giving a giving free
No, it's not common in
legalization.
Holland.
It's like it's not very common. Yeah, so we hope this can get to our king to know that from time to time, just grant amnesty to people. You know,
Yes.
is that not?
Yes.
Grant, yeah, not they don't need to be refugees before they are being given. I think those who have been in the country for maybe up to 5 years, and they have good records, you know, they didn't involve themselves in crime,
Yeah.
then people like that can also be become documented, you know, become legally registered, and then so that they can contribute to the country. So that is it for now. Is there any other thing? Nothing more. I think we've really elaborately discussed this issue. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. I'm so proud. You made tangible remarks, impacts, and also contributions. So we hope that those who would watch this broadcast now and in the near future would be able to pick few things from here and help to effect the change, more especially the Amsterdam municipality. Thank you so much once again, and I'm so proud of all of you. Thank you so much for being a blessing. So on this note, we are signing off, and we hope you will continue to watch Majesty Christian Television Network. Remember, you can always WhatsApp us or call us and tell us how we may be a blessing to you. Good night. Bye.